Today's segment of the Sermon on the Mount starts chapter 7 of Matthew, and it says, "Judge not, that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when there is a log in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. Do not give dogs what is holy. Do not throw your pearls before pigs, lest they trample them underfoot and turn to attack you." The background for this passage, two things I guess are helpful to understand. One is that a log is bigger than a speck. And most of you watching this are like, well, no, duh. And then the other thing is pigs turning to attack you. If you have no familiarity with wild boar, with wild pigs, they're mean. And if you throw pearls at them, they're going to be mean to you for throwing something at them. But that's all the background I guess you really need for this passage. What I am going to say is this passage is taken out of context a lot. People love to cite that first verse, "Judge not, that you be not judged," or "Judge not, lest ye be judged," is the King James version that is popular, right? Because one of the charges leveraged against modern-day Christianity can very easily be, you are judgmental. Christians are judgmental. And in this context, in the context of hypocrisy, it is a valid condemnation. Because that's what this passage is about. This passage, and if you listen to the story, the words that follow, this passage is about hypocrisy. So if I am struggling, say I like stealing from people. As an example, I don't, but as an example, let's say I go and check all of my neighbors' doors to see if they're unlocked. And if they're unlocked, I go into their homes and steal anything I can put in my pockets. It would be hypocritical of me to then go and tell someone else who was using office supplies at their job for something, like they were stealing office supplies from their job, but it was a really gray area of, is this stealing, is this not? It would be hypocritical of me to say, hey, you shouldn't steal, that's wrong, right? Correct? Or maybe a more subtle way, if I am not kind, if I am not loving, and I'm telling someone else that they're not being nice enough, they're not being kind enough, they're not being loving enough, that's hypocrisy. And I think that there is a lot of that we struggle with as Christians. And I think for the sake of our witness, it's something we need to actively battle against. And Jesus agrees. He says, don't judge. And he's not just talking about in general, because it is our job to share his will with people. If someone asks me, how does God feel about murder or adultery or covetousness or all of these things, I'm going to say he doesn't like them. I'm speaking the truth, but this is speaking toward judgment from a position of hypocrisy. And one other note that I want to get at here is this kind of weird inclusion in verse 6, "Don't give to dogs what is holy, don't throw your pearls before pigs." What this is speaking to is there are people who do not operate by the Christian ethos. You know them. We cannot hold them to certain aspects of the Christian moral code until we first have included them in the Christian ethos. I'm out of time. We'll talk about it more later. Brothers and sisters, go in peace. Serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.